Rizal years at the Ateneo Municipal College de Manila. In 1872, after the martyrdom of Concursa, Jose went to the Ateneo Municipal de Manila, a college that was managed by the Jesuits in Manila. Jose studied in Ateneo Municipal College under the supervision of the Spanish Jesuits. The college was a bitter rival of Dominican-owned College of San Juan de Letran, Escuela Pia, or Charity School, formerly named of Ateneo, a school for poor boys in Manila, which was established by the city government in 1817. When the Jesuits had been expelled from the Philippines in 1768 and returned in 1859, they were given the management of Escuela Pia, whose name was changed to Ateneo Municipal and later became the Ateneo de Manila. Rizal enters the Ateneo on June 10, 1872. Rizal, accompanied by Pasiano, went to Manila, took an entrance exam at the College of San Juan de Letran on the following. Number 1 is Christian doctrine, number 2 is arithmetic, and lastly the number 3, reading. His father changed his mind and decided to send him to Ateneo Municipal instead. Father Magin Ferrando was the college registrar, refused to admit Rizal in Ateneo for 2 reasons. Number 1, he was late for registration, and number 2, he was sickly and undersized for his age. Rizal was 11 years old, but through the aid of Manuel Sares Burgos, he was accepted in Ateneo. Jose was the first of his family to adopt the surname Rizal. He registered his name at Ateneo because their family name Mercado had come under suspicion of the Spanish authorities. Rizal was the first quartered in a house outside Intramuros on Carabarria Street. This was owned by a spinster named Tita, who owed the Rizal family the amount of 300 pesos.
Jesuit Education System. Jesuit education system is a 450-year-old tradition that emphasizes the intellectual, moral, and spiritual development of students. Jesuit schools are Catholic high schools and colleges run by members of the Society of Jesus and Apostolic Roman Catholic community. Jesuit educational system, students were divided into 2 groups. First is the Roman Empire. Roman Empire represents a more centralized, formal, and traditional approach. The second one is Carthaginian Empire. Carthaginian Empire emphasizes flexibility, innovation, and local adaptation. But both models align with Jesuit ideals of intellectual rigor and moral formation. But each prioritizes different methods or strategies based on the needs of the students and the broader context in which the education is delivered. Each of these empire has its ranks. First is the best student in each empire, which is the emperor. Second best is the tribune. Third best is the decurion. Fourth best is the centurion. And fifth best is the standard bearer. Rizal's first year in Ateneo, 1872 to 1873. So Rizal's first year professor was Father Jose Beck. Being a newcomer and having knows little Spanish, he was placed at the bottom of the class. He was an externo, thus assigned to the Carthaginian Greek. He also took private lessons in Santa Isabel College during the non-recess to improve his Spanish, which was actually 3 pesos per session. After first week, the frail Calamba boy progressed rapidly. At the end of the month, he became emperor. He was also the brightest pupil of the whole class and was awarded the prize he won at the Ateneo. In the second half of his first year, Jose did not try hard enough to retain academic supremacy as the previous semester because he resented to some remarks of his professors. Yet, he placed second though at the end of the year and all his grades still marked excellent.
Summer vacation 1873. He returned to Calamba at the end of school year. He did not enjoy his vacation because his mother was in prison. His sisters at Ateneo brought him to Tanawan. This did not force Micolali He went to Santa Cruz and visited his mother in prison. Without telling his father, he told her of his brilliant grade in Ateneo, and his mother gladly embraced him. He returned to Manila for his second year term in Ateneo. When summer vacation ended, he returned to Manila for his second year term in Ateneo. This time, he boarded in number 6, McClellan Street, his landlady named Donna Pepan. Second year in Ateneo, 1873-1874. He repeated having neglected his grade and previous year because his one offended by teacher remarks. He studied harder to regain his lost leadership, and once more, he became inferior. He received excellent grade in all subjects and gold medal. At the end of the school year, he returned to Colombo with such scholastic honors for summer vacations. Proposito's mother released. Rizal lost no time in going to Santa Cruz in order to visit his mother in provincial jail. He cheered up Donna Teodora's lonely heart with news of his scholastic triumph and with funny things about his professor and fellow student. Donna Teodora told her son about her dream and Rizal interrupting the dream. Told her that she would be released from prison in 3 months' time. Her prophecy became true and barely 3 months passed. Donna Teodora was set free. Donna Teodora, happily back in Colombo, was more proud of his son Jose, who she compares to youthful Josephine, the Bible in ability to interpret in dream. Teenage interest in reading. Rizal began to interest in reading romantic novels, love story, and romantic tales during summer vacation. In 1874, he read not only fiction but also non-fiction. The Countess of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. The first favorite novel of Rizal, which made a deep expression on him, was stirred by the suffering of Edmond Dantes, the hero in prison.
On this next slide, we will discuss the Universal History by Cesar Cantu. Rizal persuaded his father to buy him this set of historical work that was great aid in his study. According to Rizal, this valuable work will enable him to win more prizes in Ateneo because he believes that this book was rich in historical facts about world history, and Rizal uses this extensively while he is studying in Ateneo. Next, who is Dr. Fedor Shagor? Dr. Fedor Shagor was a German scientist traveler who visited the Philippines in 1859 to 1860. He wrote the book, he is the author of Travels in the Philippines. Rizal was impressed in this book because of Shagor's keen observation of the defects of Spanish colonization, his prophecy that someday Spain would lose the Philippines and that America would come to it as his succeed colonizer. Rizal's third year in Ateneo, year 1874 to 1875. Shortly after the release of his mother, Rizal was not happy because he did not make an excellent work or he did not make an excellent showing in his study as in the previous years. Even though Rizal remained the excellency in all his subjects, he won only one medal in Latin. Because he failed to win the medal in Spanish because his spoken Spanish was not fluent and sonorous. He was beaten by a Spaniard who naturally could speak Spanish with fluency and with right accent. And at the end of the school year, he returned to Colombo for the summer vacation, and he himself was not impressed by his scholastic work. On the fourth year in Ateneo, 1875 to 1876 would be discussed on the next slide.
Rizal went back to Manila for his 4-year course on June 16, 1875. Padre Francisco de Paula Sanchez is a great educator and scholar. He is the one who inspired Rizal to write a poetry. He finished his last year in Blaze of Glory and known as the Pride of Jesus because of his intelligence. On March 23, 1877, despite of his age, 16 years old, Rizal got a degree of Bachelor of Arts with the highest honor.
Rizal was active in extracurricular activities. Also, he was an emperor inside his classroom, and he was campus leader outside. And Mariam Congregation is a religious society where Rizal was an active member and later become a secretary. He was also a member of the Academy of Spanish Literature and Academy of Natural Science. Rizal cultivated his literary talent under the guidance of Father Sanchez during his lecture hours. Rizal studied painting under famous Spanish painter Agustin Saez and sculpture under Romaldo de Jesus, noted Filipino sculptor. Sculptural work in Ateneo. Rizal carved an image of a Virgin Mary on a piece of patikulong or a Philippines hardwood. With his pocket knife, Father Leonard, impressed by Rizal's sculptural talent, requested him to carve for him an image of Sacred Heart of Jesus. Anecdote on Rizal, the Atenean. Felix M. Rojas, he was the one Rizal contemporaries in the Ateneo, related an incident of Rizal's school days in Ateneo which revealed hero's resignation to pain and forgiveness. Neither bitterness nor rancor toward the guilty party. Manuel Cerex Burgos illustrate Rizal predictions to help the helpless at the risk of his own life. Julio Melisa from Iloilo Rizal told to Julio not to cry, for he would try to retrieve the kite. Poem written in Ateneo. It was Doña Teodora who was first discovered the poetic genius of her son, and it was also she who first encouraged him to write poems. However, it was Father Sanchez who was inspired Rizal to make full use of his God-given gift in poetry. Mi primera inspiration, my first inspiration, in 1874, the first poem Rizal probably wrote during his stay in Ateneo, which was dedicated to his mother on her birthday. Also, Rizal wrote it before he was 14 years old in 1875. Inspired by Father Sanchez, Rizal wrote more poems such as his Felicitation, second, El Embarco, third, Y.S. Espanol, 4, El Combat. 1876, Rizal wrote poems on various topics: religion, education, childhood memories, and war. They were as follow. The first one, An Recuerdo a mi Pueblo, or In a Memory of My Town. It is a tender poem in honor of Calamba, the hero's natal town. Second, Alianza Intima entre la Religión la Buena Educación, or intimate alliance between religion and a good education. So the results show that importance of religion and education. And 3, por la educación recibe lustre la patria. Through education, the country received light. So Rizal believed the significant role which education plays in the progress and the welfare of a nation. The fourth is El Contuberio, El Triunfo, Batalla de la Sena, Prison de Botil, or the captivity and the triumph, Battle of La Sena and the imprisonment of Botil. This martial poem described the defeat and capture of the Botil, Las Motish, Sultan, and Granada. The fifth one is La Entrada Triunfal de los Reyes Catalanes and Granada, the triumphal entry of the Catholic monarchs into Granada. This poem refers the victories into the King Ferdinand and Queen Isabel into Granada. Las Moorish, stronghold in Spain. Yun na yun.
Among the poems written that year were El Heroismo de Colón, or the Heroism of Columbus. This poem praises Columbus, the discoverer of America. Second, Colón in 1-2, Columbus and John II. This poem relates how King Contir of Portugal missed fame and riches by his failure to finance the projected expedition of Columbus to the New World. Third, Gran Consuelo and La Mayor Desdicha, or the Great Solace in Great Misfortune. This is a legend in verse of the tragic life of Columbus. Fourth, Un diálogo a la beso a la despedida de los colegiales, a farewell dialogue of the students. This was the last poem written by Rizal in Ateneo. It was a pregnant poem of farewell to his classmate. Next, Mi Primera Inspiración, or My First Inspiration. The first poem Rizal probably wrote during his days in Ateneo, which was dedicated to his mother on her birthday. Rizal wrote it before he was 14 years old. Next, Al Niño Jesus, to the child Jesus. This poem was written in 1875, when Rizal was 14 years old. It was a brief ode. Next, A la Virgin Maria, or to the Virgin Mary, another religious poem which doesn't have exact date when it was written. Last, San Eustacio Martyr, or Saint Eustace the Martyr, a drama based on the prose story of Saint Eustace, which he wrote in poetic verses during the summer vacation of 1876, and finished it on June 2, 1876. Now, let me discuss to you about the dramatic work of Rizal in Ateneo. While Rizal was still a student at the Ateneo, his favorite teacher, Father Sanchez, requested him to write a drama based on the prose story of Saint Eustace the Martyr during the summer vacation of 1876. He wrote the requested religious drama in poetic verses at his home in Calamba and finished it on June 2, 1876. Upon the opening classes at the Ateneo in June 1876, his last academic year at the Jesuit College, he submitted to Father Sanchez the finished manuscript of the drama, entitled San Eustacio Martyr, or Saint Eustace the Martyr. The good priest teacher read it and felicitated the young Atenean for work well done. Segunda Katigbak. His grandmother's guests, who were mostly college students, knew of his skill in painting, so that they urged him to draw Segunda's portrait. He complied reluctantly and made a pencil sketch for her. From time to time, he reminisced later. She looked at me, and I blushed. Rizal came to Segunda more intimately during his weekly visits to La Concordia College, where his sister Olympia was a boarding student. Olympia was a close friend of Segunda. It was apparent that Rizal and Segunda loved each other. There was indeed a love at first sight, but it was hopeless since they were very beginning because Segunda was already engaged to be married to her townmate, Manuel Luz. Rizal, for all his artistic and intellectual prowess, was a shy and timid lover. Segunda was manifested by insinuation and deeds her affection for him, but he timidly failed to propose. The last time they talked to each other was Thursday in December 1877, when the Christmas vacation was about to begin. He visited Segunda at La Concordia College to say goodbye because he was going home to Calamba the following day. She, on her part, told him she was also going home one day later. She kept quiet after her brief reply, waiting for him to say something which her heart was clamoring to hear. But Rizal failed to come up to her expectation. He could only mumble, "Well, goodbye. Anyway, I'll see you past Calamba on your way to Lipa." The next day, Rizal arrived by steamer in his home time. His mother didn't recognize him at first, due to her failing eyesight. She was saddened to find out about his mother growing blindness. His sister gaily welcomed him, teasing him about Segunda, for they knew for his romance through Olympia. That night, he demonstrated his skills and fancy to his family. He had a friendly fencing bout with the best fencer in Calamba, invested him. The following day, or Saturday, he learned that the steamer carrying Segunda and her family would not anchor at Calamba because of the strong winds. It would stop in Binyan. He saddled his white horse and waited at the road. A cavalcade of Camaromotas from Binyan passed by, in one of whom was Segunda smiling and waving at her handkerchief at him. He doffed his hat and was tongue-tied to say anything.